Good morning.
Dane, I didn't give you a heads up today, but today I brought Trevor just to film you specifically.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, so we're going to do a whole YouTube video.
Yes! I love it.
And then you're gonna break down, like, you know, why you hold the camera the way you do, why you choose the camera down, the settings that you.
I could do that. Don't get me started, Joe. I talk more than you, okay?
I actually do get questions. People all the time like, "What camera do you use?" I was like, "Fuck, I don't use any camera." Like, what camera do you use?
Trevor is so much more professional than me.
Dad joke. He's like every week is like he's taking it up. I made a dad joke the other day.
What was it?
It was Carol put a cake in a cup, and I call it a cupcake.
We're three-ish weeks out, push day, so we got chest, shoulders, triceps. His volume right now is just starting to come down a teeny bit, so we're a little bit lower than I would normally have, like kind of peak volume during prep. But overall, everything's in a really, really good spot. Strength is still pretty much there. We're kind of trying to keep his top weights in a pretty consistent spot. Basically 2-ish working sets for every single movement at this point in time. And that's kind of, again, a baseline before we might even take it down a little farther closer to the show. So. This question is one of the funniest questions ever to me. Is it okay to use the Smith machine for pressing, or do I have to use a barbell? And there's this notion that someone created at some point in time that barbells are functional and in some way, shape, or form better than a Smith machine, which is somehow non-functional. So anyway, that's not to say that barbells are bad. I didn't say that, but to imply that there's something magical about them, more functional about them, or inherently better about them than just putting it in a Smith machine or putting it in another machine where it has a fixed pad is it's idiotic, it's dogmatic. People have literally created cults and religions and shit around barbells, and that needs to stop.
Go. It's weird holding back.
Yep. All right, so one little tip I want to give here, or again, this is going to be one of those things I think that can get lost on social media to a certain degree, is a programming thing. If anybody's seen any of my programs, you know, a chest program, a push program, whatever it is, I do like to start most chest days with a press movement. So this might be an exception where I've programmed in the past where someone has a hard time getting the load that they're using all to their chest and off their front delts. I've actually programmed flies as their first movement or as their mass builder. That's one of those kind of traditional things where flies can't be a mass builder. And so again, the benefit of doing a fly first is even though technically you're not handling as much perceived load, it's way further away from the joint, so it might be similar torque, that's a different thing. But you're not using as much perceived load. Doesn't matter how much load you're using, again, if most of it's going to front delt. The advantage of a fly, so if you just saw the position we're more externally rotated. So now if you look at his plane that the upper arm is moving in, it lines up a lot with all these pec fibers, and his front delt, if I go right through the center of his front delt, is actually pointing more this direction. It is actually one of the few pec movements that you can basically keep less front delt involved, and again, in turn, hopefully have more pec involved. I'm gonna give you a secret pro tip. So Terrence gets shredded, inside out, shredded. Gonna be the most conditioned guy on the stage. I got a little trick. Don't tell anybody. Randomly throughout the session, I'll be like, "Hey Terrence, can you go over there for me?" He'll say, "What?" It's kind of like wander all the way over. By the time he gets over there, I'm like, "What am I getting?" I said, "Oh man, sorry, I forgot." And he walks back. And so that's how we get extra steps in.
Yeah, I don't walk at all throughout the day.
Yeah, so I just make him walk all the way across the gym. He forgets why he went over there. I pretend I didn't even tell him anything, and then he just wanders back. And so every single session, like 12 weeks out, I just say that once. 11 weeks out, I say twice a session. 12 weeks out, he's walking back and forth. He has no idea what's going on, but he's getting shredded.
What does Yesin have your carbs at right now? Still 150 grams or so?
Probably. Maybe a little less. But 45 chicken rice first meal, 55 the second meal, 100 grams for my third meal. So that's about 40, 90, 120.
Like I said at the beginning, we do 2 working sets at every single exercise. I always get people that say like, how do I know if that's enough or blah, blah, whatever. And I always just joke, man, it's like, in the day and age we live in, people like to be told exactly what to do. People don't like implementation. So if you're asking that question, the thing you're lacking is implementation, and then measuring and actually tracking results, right? That's where we're at now. Excited to see Terrence come in the home stretch here, finish out, kick some ass at the Arnold, and then excited for off season as well too. It's all exciting. It's all good. Getting stage ready is great, and then
Best off season ever.
Yeah, and then we haven't had an off season in a while.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have an off season, which is gonna be. If I was Mr. Olympia, if my name is Chris Bumstead, I don't want to say I'd be worried. That's kind of a big thing to say. But I would be anticipating a completely different Terrence Ruff will come to stage next go. Not completely different, but a better one. And that's gonna be good. That's gonna cause some trouble, and that's gonna turn some heads and mess some shit up. But anyway, that's the end of this video. This is my full sign off. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
How was your workout today, Mr. Diesel?
It was good. I think I did a little bit more weight on the Nautilus press, the machine, which is cool.
Ooh, nice.
Everything else is pretty much the same. So, which is also good, as long as I'm not losing strength. That's a good thing.
Yep.
Definitely feel like I'm looking better these last few days. So
I would say so.
And I'm with Engaged Therapeutic Arts. I'm here in Tampa Bay. We are a mobile company coming to you in the safety and comfort of your own home.
Yeah. So explain why getting work done and doing like this is important.
Getting manual therapy done is extremely important when it comes to athletes because of the amount of stress and pressure that they put on their bodies. They are creating such a compensation problem of compression and expansion. You see, this compression is creating a lot of stiffness, and it doesn't allow the body to stay in a mobile position. Good posture is always changing. It's not one specific posture for the prime individual, So what we're trying to focus on is keeping everything very pliable. We want everything to be able to be moving in good form without pain.
A lot of my followers are obviously bodybuilders, so you can lose that symmetry. And then, I don't know, you can correct me, but I would imagine you can cause some bigger visual muscular imbalances too, right?
Very much so. The compensation problems can acquire a lot of asymmetrical looks. So, a lot of amateur bodybuilders, you'll see that they choose to pick one side more than the other because, well, it's more dominant and they have a better look or aesthetic appeal. And so by maintaining a good structure, you're able to keep a very symmetrical look rather than asymmetrical.
Okay. let's say a lot of my followers, the majority are from like 18 to 24, 16 to 24, let's just say that. And they don't have a ton of money. How often, like maybe would once enough be a good start, or?
On average, you want to structure, depending on your amount of strenuous activity, once a month is ideal.
Okay.
Honestly, it is extremely important to put manual therapy into your routine,
And then,
but at least twice every 3 months. If you're putting a lot of work on your body, a lot of strain, a lot of pressure, you want to stay limber. You want to be able to keep moving, and with that amount of bodybuilding, pressure just builds drastically, very quickly.
okay, so once a month's great, you said, and then
At least once every 45 days, that would be?
okay, once every 45 days, and then
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
they should be doing some type of homework.
Correct.
Like-
Some sort of manual therapy, whether it's hands-on with a professional. If on a regular basis, you can get and spend a good 45 minutes rolling on the floor with a cross ball or a foam roller of some sort.
Okay.
So be mindful of what you can do on your own. Self-therapy is very important.
Yeah, so if you guys complain about you can't afford it once every 45 days, and then buy like a $10 foam roller and use that every day, and you're good.
Just get creative with it. All right. You have to understand that the body is not just a single plane. Or it doesn't move just on a single plane. So just rolling back and forth over a muscle group isn't going to do a lot. Add rotation, movement into it. So right now what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pin this muscle group and his glute down.
Ooh, man.
And now I'm going to stretch it towards the foot of the table. 1 second, let me get a good hook onto it. There we go. Now I'm going to have him activate it. So go ahead and lift straight up. Hold this. Not only did I have him activate it, but let's rotate. So go ahead and rotate forward. There you go, internal rotation. Take a nice big deep breath. So now I'm gonna get another stretch through the breath, expansion, and go ahead and relax. And now I can sink further into the deeper tissue without having to work hard through force. I can have him do it.
Thanks for doing all the work for us, Ruff.
You know?
That's all right. Tank top, I won't get it.
The man just burnt maybe 1,000 calories, 1,100.
So look, go cardio tonight, then, dude.
Terrence, 5 out of 5?
Yeah, man, I've been working with him since I met him
3 years ago.
at the fam. Yeah.
Wow.
So if I don't like you, I'm not gonna bring you back. So yeah.
Well, what do you think? Have his arms grown?
Terrence?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, you can't be second in the world just like sitting around on your ass.